it's Miss Julianne from the Wakanda Area Library, and I am here with our March STEM Club. And are you guys excited? I am, because it is March. Do you know a cool holiday that happens in March? It's called St. Patrick's Day. And often if you're Irish, or even if you're not, you celebrate. And you guys probably have heard the tale of the Leprechaun, right? So we're going to use a little bit of pretend to help us understand the real. So we're going to be talking about the engineering process, and then we're going to use that to develop leprechaun traps. Isn't that so cool? And you can do whatever you want. You've been given certain materials, but it can look however you want. In fact, everyone has been gotten like random strips of cardboard, so not everybody's cardboard is the same. I think they're going to look so cool. And when you have done them, please take a picture and send it to me. I would love to see them. So, the engineering process starts with thinking about the problem. So the problem is leprechauns are tricky and we'd like to meet one, right? So how would we meet a leprechaun? Well, after the first step of thinking about what the problem is, the next step is to use your imagination and to brainstorm. So this is where you're thinking of all the possible ways you could trap a leprechaun. And then the next is to plan. What would this look like? And a lot of times when you plan, you need to do a little bit of research before you do your drawings or or building your designs. So a little bit of research about leprechauns is, we know they are teeny tiny. We know they're Irish. We know they love gold. And supposedly they can find a pot of gold at the end of a rainbow. The other thing you have to remember is these are very mischievous, tricky, mystical little things. So it will be super hard to catch them. So what would we think we would need to build and design a leprechaun trap? I'm going to tell you what I'm going to give you guys. You're going to get random pieces of cardboard. You're going to get a piece of construction paper. You're going to get a piece of white paper so you can make a design and plan out. That's that third step. And then you're going to get a gold coin and strips of rainbow paper. You can choose to use some of it. You can choose to use all of it. You can choose to add things that you have at your house that you think would make a good leprechaun trap. And some things to remember too. Okay, so now we know a little bit about the leprechaun, but how do we do it? I like to think about simple machines like levers and pulleys on ways to possibly make a trap that would catch a leprechaun. So I want you to think about that. So after you have planned it, designed it on a piece of paper, you kind of know what it looks like, you got to build it. You got to build it and make it. And then you're going to experiment. Now, we don't get a lot of chances to do the actual experiment because, you know, leprechauns, only St. Patrick's Day. But what you could do is use a paper, use a little figure, use your like little fingers like you'll see that I do in my version. Or you could use a little action figure to test it out. But there are a few ways that you could test out your leprechaun trap. And the last thing is to use it. See if you can catch yourself a leprechaun trap. Set it up the night before St. Patrick's Day. So that would be March 16th. And see if the morning of March 17th, or maybe even the evening. I don't know when leprechauns hang out. Early morning, late at night. Again, they're mischievous and little and they don't want you to see them. So I'm guessing it's going to be during dark hours. But anyways, set it up the night before. See if you can find one. So I hope you guys have lots of fun. I'm now going to show you how I made my leprechaun trap. And here it goes. Okay, so using the engineering process, I thought about our problem. The problem is we want to catch a leprechaun. So the next thing is I designed, or I thought about what could work. And I was thinking, you know, I really liked all those rainbow strips. I wanted to make something that kind of looked like a cake, like a rainbow cake. And then I'd put a coin on top to kind of draw him in, and then it would be like a trap door. So if I needed the top to move like a door, it needed to be a hinge, right? Like a lever in the simple machine talk. So how was I going to do that? Well, I taped my rainbow, I glued them together, and then I made a top. And for it to fit inside, right, it needed to be smaller. So I made it smaller than the others. And then to hinge it, I folded it so that part would, and then glued it so that part would stay, but this wouldn't. So if I put the gold piece on the top of the cake, like so, right? And then it'd be like the leprechaun came in and he was like, doity 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 doity, top of the day, gold! And then boop, he falls into my trap and then the lid closes on him. And that is how I followed the design process and made my own leprechaun trap. I hope you guys have lots of fun, and please, if you make some, take pictures, have your grown-ups send them to me at jmedel@walklib.org, and we will find a way to post them. Thank you so much and have a wonderful day.